The Israeli army says it has intercepted 5 rockets above the city of Haifa. It says the barrage was fired from Lebanon, triggering warning sirens across northern Israel. There are no reports of injuries. Let's bring in Mohammed, who is in Jordan's capital, Amman, because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel. So, Mohammed, it's great to talk to you. One thing that's noticeable about these near daily projectiles launched from Lebanon into Israel is that they're actually expanding the area in Israel in which Israelis aren't safe.
Yeah, that's right. Great to talk to you too, Cyril. This is all very significant because what we've seen over the course of the past week especially is that every day on average there are dozens of rockets, according to the Israeli army, launched from Lebanon, launched by Hezbollah, towards cities in the north and towards central Israel as well. Now, Haifa has been a main target of these attacks, and there's a reason for that. It's because Haifa houses the main base for Israel's Navy. It is a major city, the third most populous city in Israel, the biggest city in the north of the country, very strategically placed. You have about 300,000 people there. You have a lot of industry. It is a port city. There are oil refineries. So the fact that this city keeps coming under attack, and the fact that last week you had one day where 5 rockets actually fell in the center of Haifa. They evaded the Israeli air defense Iron Dome system. This is something that is making Israelis feel more vulnerable at such a critical time. You've also had more and more rockets launched towards Tel Aviv, towards other cities in the center of the country. And at a time when you keep hearing the same kind of rhetoric from the Israeli government, that the fact that they are involved in all these conflicts at the same time is something that is ultimately going to make the country safer, there is a sense in Israel of perhaps it is becoming more vulnerable. There are more people asking questions about why this is happening and why these rockets are being able to evade at certain times the much vaunted Iron Dome system. Now, today that is not the case. The news from the Israeli army is that they have intercepted these 5 rockets that were launched towards Haifa. But in the last several days, you have had rockets that have landed in some of these cities, and because of that, people are wondering. The Israeli army, to that end, has also said on many an occasion that they are launching investigations as to why some of these rockets and why some drones have been able to evade that Iron Dome system. Lots of questions at such a very critical time, Cyril.
Mohammed, the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke to the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and the U.S. essentially is telling Israel, we want you to pivot, those are their words, pivot from military operations to more diplomacy. The interesting part of the sentence for me, and you can run us through that phone call, is that they put no timeline on this pivot that they want to see. In fact, the words are that they want this to happen when it's feasible.
Yeah, that is the key word in that sentence, Cyril, because that essentially is doublespeak. It's saying that the U.S. wants Israel to pivot. It's not putting a timeline, but it's also saying that it's up to Israel as to when they see it is fit to pivot to try to find a diplomatic solution, when it is feasible to the Israelis. And I can tell you that by looking across the Israeli media landscape, when you read what a lot of analysts are saying and what a lot of unnamed government officials are saying in Israel about this, is they believe that the U.S. has and will continue to give Israel a blank check when it comes to what they are doing in Lebanon. Now, critics of that approach in Israel have been writing a lot of op-eds and a lot of opinion pieces in which they are critical of the fact that they say that the U.S., by continuing to just back Israel in their approach in Lebanon, that is showcasing that the U.S. has no strategy, that it is not able to put leverage on Israel, that it is not able to guide Israel. And this is concerning to critics of this approach in Israel because they are worried about what all this means at a time when there is so much concern about a wider regional war. So this readout on its face appears as though the U.S. is telling Israel they want them to wrap it up, perhaps enter into a ceasefire, find a diplomatic solution. But really, when you read between the lines, as a lot more people are doing right now, they believe that this is the U.S. basically encouraging Israel to continue to do what it wants to do, and at some point of their choosing, go ahead and try to pivot to a diplomatic solution, which more and more people just don't think is possible at this particular time. Cyril?
And Mohammed Jamjoom reporting from Amman. Jordan, thank you very much.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.